All right. After a bit of struggling, we brought the box into the space here so that I could unbox it and inspect everything. It is heavy. I had help with this. It's 66 pounds. Some of y'all might be able to just heave it into the space, but be prepared to get some help lifting it in. So I thought I would unbox it here and we could take a look at everything in it. I haven't seen everything yet. You're seeing it right along with me. So let's dig in. I'm going to get out my trusty Leatherman squirt, carry on in my pocket everywhere. And I'm going to cut it open. It comes from China. So the box was heavily taped, I think, to keep everything in it. So I'm going to cut through this tape here. And now I'm going to be very careful when I go down the center, because basically the biogas digester is a big bag. So I want to make sure that I don't cut into the bag in case it's up the top here. I'm going to make sure that I don't cut into it. So I'm going to be very careful about, keeping the knife pretty shallow and only cutting through the tape and not getting too far down into the box. Yeah, normally I would just rip through something like this, but again, I want to be very careful that I don't cut that digester. Oh, that was really cool. They had a little piece of protective plastic so that you didn't put the knife all the way through. That was a nice touch. Okay, let's get into this. Yeah, so here is this piece of plastic that protects the bag. This is the bag right here. So that was a really nice touch, because even though I was being really careful, it's nice to know that there was a little bit of protection there to prevent the bag from being cut. So here is the bag, the main engine, if you will, for the biogas digester. I'm going to set that right here for now. Here's some instructions on how to put it together. Oh, and a parts list. That's good. That's a good thing. And here is another piece of plastic that is protecting the bag from the rest of the parts. That's also a nice touch. Doesn't look like anything's too sharp here, but just that extra layer of protection. Because as I say, if the biogas bag is cut in any way, then that just, you have to do some repairs because it won't work otherwise. Okay, so let's look at this packing list and make sure. So the digester bag, yep, that's right here. This must be the stove. Yeah, single flame biogas stove. So as I mentioned earlier, the gas that comes out of the bag you can use for various purposes, and they actually provide a stove that you can do some cooking. So that's pretty cool. And this is the biogas hose. So this is going to connect up to the bag to deliver the gas. Desulfurizer, one of the gases inside them. It's not pure methane. In fact, one of the gases in the biogas is H2S, which in high concentrations is actually very dangerous. In these concentrations, it's low. Still, you want to remove as much of that as possible. So that's what this does. And here's the inlet pipe. Now, I have been anxious to open this up so that I could know the size of this pipe. Unfortunately, the documentation online and nowhere else could I find any specs that told me the width of this pipe. So I figured it was at least 4, but it could have been 6. So I needed to know what the width of this pipe is because I'm going to do some modifications. I mentioned that we're going to be adding output from our Blackwater tank into the bag. So I'm going to need to make some modifications, and so I needed to know the width. But again, I didn't know until I opened this. So that looks like, well, I said 4 or 6, and that looks like about 4 inches. So this is the inlet pipe. Sounds like there's some other stuff in there. So we're going to have to open that up in order to know more. And here's a couple of caps, or a plug, right? So this is a plug for the bag. We're going to know more about that later. Don't know what this is. This is, this is the pump, the biogas pump. So what's going to happen is that the gas is going to come out of the bag and go through a couple of these filters and then into this pump. And then that pressurizes the gas so that we can use it in the stove, or there are light fixtures that you can power with the biogas. Here is this is the pipe for the biogas. From some of the other documentation I've seen, this goes into the top. Okay. And this bad boy is the outlet pipe. So this part goes into the biogas digester bag. This is a valve for letting out the liquid fertilizer. And then I guess these are fail safes so that it doesn't get too much pressure in there or too much liquid. Okay, here are some plastic parts. I know there's a metal frame that goes around the bag to kind of hold it up. So I'm sure these are for putting that together. Not sure what that is. And then here are the pipes. These are curved. I think what happens is that these go around the bag, and then these are the pipes that support it vertically, and then this goes around the bag horizontally. Okay, so I'm going to get this box out of the way so that we can spread this out and get a better look.